Great. All right. So I am here with Alan Gomez and Daniel Tinajero, founder and president of the Latinx Film Club and the co-founders of the BIPOC Film Festival. You guys are in the thick of it right now. You guys are like in the process of putting this thing together. Well, first of all, like who came up with the idea first? Why? Like what was like the mission of the BIPOC Film Festival?
Well, this was one of my core missions, creating my club. One of the big issues is we have lack of access, film equipment or whatnot. Also, lack of networking opportunities. So it's like when you graduate, you don't have either real people to call or a job already waiting for you. Right. And it's because they kind of put it all on you. And I'm just like, that's kind of messed up, you know, not all of us have the same situation.
You know, like I think you were mentioning before is like people who have lives to live and busy lives, like they don't have the time to just network and go out to mixers or anything like that. So yeah, no.
Nor they have the guidance. They don't have the guidance.
Yeah.
Or they don't know how to find it.
Yeah.
Also, some are introverts, so it's harder for them to like even start that conversation. So like my sole mission was to make it more convenient for you to get into the film industry. One of the bigger missions is people of color are historically, you know, unrepresented in the film industry. And why is that? Because there was a lack of access, there was lack of resources. And they made sure that we weren't in the film industry represented the way we should be. I mean, this is bigger than me, this is bigger than the club. So like I want to make sure that somebody, at least one person, makes it in the industry because of this event. And if I haven't done that, then I'll continue to like pursue that goal of finally helping somebody. Yeah, I just want to make it convenient for everybody to like get there, you know?
Yeah.
So, and that's one way of helping representation, you know, make sure you're employable by the time you graduate. So yeah. Is
this an idea that you guys both had, or who came to who first? With like it just sounds crazy to think about. Let's start a film festival. You know? Like other people, it's like, oh, let's start a podcast. Oh, let's start a YouTube channel. Let's start a band. It's like, oh, let's start a whole film festival. You know.
Well, I could say it's probably like a collaborative thing with the other founders. Alan's the only one that's still here as far as the founders, and I was like, bro, like we gotta get you to become president. I can't do the film festival if I'm the president because I got other stuff to do. Right. So he held down the fort for that, and then I focused on expanding our club and creating the mission, like making the mission happen. So it's like it was a real collaborative effort. Like I didn't know like film festivals were networking opportunities. I've never been to one. People were talking about local stuff, but I mean that's small. What are you gonna get out of that? Like maybe like a little award here and there, but I want competition. I want to make sure you're exposed to the future directors, future, DPs and whatnot. It's going to be cool because like there's going to be industry professionals there, but also the future workforce. So this is a perfect opportunity to get either or, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I want to graduate and have somebody to call for so-and-so a work that I can't fill or so-and-so work that somebody's looking for specific criteria, you know? Yeah. So I can't do it all. Obviously, there's gonna be somebody that I need to call. This is the perfect opportunity to create that environment right now while you're still while you're young.
So let's talk a little bit about the film festival itself. So what are you picturing when you picture, your film festival? What's the scenery?
The original goal was to make it here just because, like, San Francisco in general was like the birthplace of film. Not in SFSU, but this was like the birthplace of like the first ever moving picture. And so I wanted it to be in SFSU just because I'm here, and this school was the first one to have its own ethnic studies library, one of the biggest ones.
And I think like also like to add, San Francisco has so much diversity. So I think that also impacts like this whole film festival thing that we want to do. Yeah. And have it here.
Yeah. So just having everyone from everywhere just in one area watching films. I mean, yeah, that's as pure as it gets, you know.
So it's significant because of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you have this idea, and it's kind of just you two left in terms of like the two people that kind of collaborated to start this thing, and now you guys are moving forward. What was like the first step in that? Was it going like, shoot, where are we gonna get the money, or What was that?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of that. It's still a lot of that. But in life, like I've been through like some really hard times, and I found out like the people that get it done are the people that are curious. So it's like everybody knows somebody. So let me find out anything I can get out of everybody. So it's always like, where can I get this? Or like, you know what? This guy looks like he's into it somehow. Let's see what we can get out of him. Let's see what we can get out of this. Like, so it was a lot of that. And then, you know, whatever I get, I don't care if it's like a little bit, as long as you get me the venue, I'm okay. It's gonna happen regardless of how much money they give us, like, but it would be great if they can fund us. Yeah, bro, like it's gonna happen regardless. It doesn't matter who helps us or who doesn't.
Going into a little bit more like the process of your film festival and making it, just because I'm just so interested in like just all the things you got to set up to make this. So what's been one thing about a film festival that, you know, like an aspect of it you didn't know you had to figure out until actually doing it?
So I remember one day we sat down with Rafael Flores and we made like the expense like report of like what we're asking for, like a budget report. And it was a lot of like, you know, the keynote speaker fee and then this and that. I didn't know like how much it really cost, like, but he knew since he has that cinema background. So I was like, oh wow, that's kind of hefty, you know, like depending on who you get. And
that first budget report is always a little heartbreaking.
I'm really into those budget reports, like from a business side of media. But I was like, dang, okay, that's a lot of money. But honestly, what attracted me was like how much work it actually takes to produce like a festival. You know, I was like, dang, like just for like maybe a festival of just one day, how much like work it takes, how much expenses, how much. So I think by the end of the day, like once this gets once we see the film festival and we're over with, we're gonna see like the whole layout, like what really went into it, what was used. So what really shocked me was like, you know, all this stuff that we actually do need, what we need to cut, what we don't need. Kind of Daniel and I were like, yo, like does it really cost as much? Or like, you know, we don't know. We're too like. In Spanish, I don't know how you say it in English. You say muy verde, estás muy verde. Like you're like newbie. You're new to this. You're a rookie.
You're a freshman.
Yeah.
So like that's why we don't like. I think like the best way to learn is from your mistakes and your errors. So then you have a blueprint of like what works, what doesn't.
Have you guys thought of like awards and prizes and all that stuff? Yeah.
One of the things that I didn't think about was I was just thinking of, we're gonna give awards. One of the things that like Rafael Flores was like, no, Haley said it, and then Rafael expanded on it, and it's to give out film equipment. And I was like, that goes back to my main mission, which was to bring equipment access to people. So I was like, oh, that's exciting. Yeah, let's do it. And then so it's like, so not only does it motivate you to like, why do you want to be in this film festival? Oh yeah, network and all that, right? But also you might win equipment for yourselves for doing a good.
And make the next big thing with the stuff you made because of how great, you know, your last film was. Like, you know, what is so appealing to you guys is like, it's just very pure. It's like, if you guys make good stuff, you can get rewarded. That hopefully will take you to that next step and that next step and that next step. So yeah, that's great.